All right, so let's debunk some myths about the Necronomicon. I have a script over on my right, so I'm going to be reading from that. And if anybody has anything to say about it or any other questions, feel free to put it in the comments. The name Necronomicon translates from Greek as the Book of Dead Names, and is named as such because the deities and figures discussed in the book are of such ancient belief that they are dead, in the same sense that Latin, or the language of the birds, are dead languages because nobody speaks these languages anymore. It's my opinion in research that the book possibly attained the name Necronomicon, meaning the one that's printed by Simon by Avon Books, as a means of trying it to tie to the mythos of H.P. Lovecraft to gain a bit of shock and fame, but this is just my conjecture. Whether the Necronomicon's backstory is a manuscript stolen from a monastery in a book heist, or written purely as a grimoire in the modern day, is not up for debate. It doesn't matter how it came to be, because there is no absolute way to prove its origins one way or another, whether it's legit or fake. Like many other grimoires, the Necronomicon contains the means by which you can summon the assistance, aid, or advice from various spirits for the means of attaining goals and personal advancement. Yes, this does include the dead, but that's not the main point of the book, and quite honestly, it doesn't make it evil. It also contains sigils and descriptions of ritual materials, just like the Goetic Books of Solomon. And I don't see that much controversy over the Books of Solomon as I do with the Necronomicon. Debating over the identity of the editor or author should not be up for debate either. The book exists and is based on ancient Sumerian and Babylonian theology. In a book by the author Constantinos, I'll try to put a link to this book in the description. He states that a working grimoire such as the Necronomicon can be considered to be useful, whether it's legitimate or not, because it's based on an ancient system of mysticism, astrology, and religious belief. Much of the book is either a direct translation or a slightly askew translation of ancient Sumerian tablets or stories such as the Enuma Elish, which is the Sumerian creation myth. The tale in the Necro of Ishtar, or Easter as it's pronounced, descending into the underworld, and the 50 names of Marduk are taken from ancient tablets. They may have changed a little bit in the translation that is in the Necronomicon, but that's where it's based. The fact is further supported by the Necronomicon Anunnaki Bible, published by Joshua Free. I'll try also to put a link to his book and also his YouTube channel in the description below. In terms of hauntings that everybody talks about and why you shouldn't use the book, I honestly think that any type of magical system, anytime you open a door, it's what you make of it. It's whether or not you have the ability to control the different things that happen, and it really comes down to willpower and knowing how to open and close doors. In the book of Calling, in the Necro, it states, "And if thou performest these operations often, thou shalt see things becoming dark, and the wanderers in their spheres shall no more be seen by thee, and the stars in their places will lose their light, and the moon, Nana," which is the name of the deity for the moon, "by whom thou also workest, shall become black and extinguished." I don't really think that this can be taken literally. Not everything around you is going to go black, but I do think that if you work with the book very much, which is what this quote alludes to, that you will be able to be more focused in your rituals and not have so many outside distractions, and you'll be able to hold your attention to the rituals as they become more and more easy to remember and easy to use, and you get into the format. When I was working with it, there was some poltergeist activity in my house. Different things got moved. Different things were misplaced. I had tables on my porch that would move, tables and chairs, and I would hear random knocking. I do live in a condo, and I do know what the difference is between somebody, like one of my neighbors, bumping around, and something a little bit out of the ordinary. When you work with the different spirits in the book, such as the 50 names of Marduk, and any spirits from the Aurelia text, this may happen, but once again, if you stand your ground and you stick to your guns and you don't let fear feed into it, then more likely these things are going to go away. It does say that when you are working the different rituals, that some spirits may try to attack the circle that you are in. But once again, this could be your own fears, or it could actually be something there. As long as you don't feed into it, then there's really nothing to worry about. I've heard other stories about people getting hurt just by reading it or becoming uneasy just by reading it. I kind of believe that this might be psychosomatic, where your own fears of what could happen by reading something that's so forbidden can kind of play into your mind thinking that there are things that are not, or you may become so fearful that your stomach could get upset. The same as anticipating getting on a roller coaster, for example. The main system of the book, which is called the gate walking, it's an initiatory system. There are some uncomfortable things that may occur while you're going through the gate walking. The process of gate walking is a transformative experience over the course of 8 months that transforms the individual going through the system. Throughout the 8 months, the practitioner is exposed to planetary energies that both build the astral body and expose the mind and physical body to trials, which may lead to troubles at work, in relationships, financially, or otherwise. These challenges are not insurmountable, however. They are meant as opportunities for growth and expansion of consciousness, willpower, confidence, and the overall spirit of the individual. When I did it myself, there were several things that I encountered, such as some situations in work became more difficult and I really had to rise to the challenge, or you may even come down with a cold or something that might not go away easily. It's really individual and different for everybody. In terms of any other myths that I can think of, I don't have any on my mind right now, but if I can think of anything else, I will probably post a part 2 to this. And if anybody has any questions or anything that I might have missed, feel free to put it in the comments below.